Just over 1 hour and 25 minutes. 1 hour 26 minutes, meaning 86 minutes.
Yeah.
Australia have capitulated to 92 all out.
I mean, to be fair, we all thought that we'd be joining you
91
here right now for
a tea session.
Yeah, a tea session, 20 odd minutes. You're thinking, okay, match would be all but over. Then later on, we'd be joining you. But the Aussies decided to give us an easy day in the office.
Easy day, and
not just us, even the Indian cricket team.
Just one session.
Just one session.
Just one session. And Australia, in the entirety, if you have to look at it, they have batted in this entire match just 3.5 sessions.
Correct.
That's it. And India have batted for whole of day 2.
Which is 3 sessions.
Yes. Then you had half of day 1 and 1 session of this. So they are batted for 4.5 sessions.
And that 4.5 sessions consisted of 1 innings.
1 innings. 400 India made, which suggested, and let me be straight out honest about the fact, nothing wrong with this pitch.
No, but plenty of question marks over the Australian batting.
Not just question marks. Poor pitch? No. Poor batting.
Absolutely.
Poor Australian batting.
Terrible.
And I never ever thought in my entire career that I would say this about Australia, the cricket team.
But they lacked fight.
It was a meek, tame capitulation and surrender.
I wouldn't even call it a capitulation. At one point, they just submitted to their defeat. They were just...
It was evident what happened when they were 223 runs in deficit. That's it. That's it. So let me just sum up this one session, okay, before we get to the nitty-gritties of it. Australia were staring at a 223 run deficit because just at the stroke of lunch, India were bowled out for 400. Shami opened the bowling, and who was at the other end? Ravichandran Ashwin. For all his might that we have seen, he may not be doing well outside of India, for whatever he is, he's not getting wickets. But when the occasion demanded, he stepped up. And how? Dismissing Usman Khawaja, dismissing David Warner, dismissing Matthew Renshaw, Alex Carey, all the left-handers done and dusted. Then Labuschagne, I think probably undone by a peach of a delivery from Ravindra Jadeja.
Again.
Spinning on middle and leg, straightened, Labuschagne squared up, hitting the back pad, ouch. He just had no answers to it. So Labuschagne gone, Hanscom done in by a delivery that just straightened from around the wicket. This is the thing Australia were lacking. Nathan Lyon just couldn't get the deliveries to straighten from the round the wicket angle.
Absolutely.
And that is when Peter Hanscom fell, the game was up. Alex Carey, you felt as if he was walking on a landmine. Tiptoe, okay, I survived tiptoe, I survived. Next, he tried a reverse sweep, as Ashwin predicted very rightly. Premeditation can sometimes get the better of you.
Correct.
And it happened. Fell to a reverse sweep yet again. Second time he fell to Ashwin. 5 out of the first 6 wickets fell to Ravichandran Ashwin, with Jadeja in ensuring that he got rid of Marnus Labuschagne for the second time in the game. 2 buttes, and that is why, in that sense. Then the tail, it was just a question of time. Ravindra Jadeja once again got rid of Pat Cummins. Then Akshar Patel got a wicket. Shami got rid of Nathan Lyon, and the game could have been over about 10 minutes before.
Exactly, because Jadeja did get rid of Steve Smith, an absolute peach of an arm ball, unfortunately overstepped.
No ball. And then it was left to Mohammad Shami to ensure that Scott Boland was trapped LBW, and Australia were kept woeful 91 to lose by an innings and 134 runs. Simply, you cannot say anything about the pitch here. I'm sorry. 177 and 91 is a clear reflection of Australia not overcoming their spin woes.
Absolutely. And the irony was that they spent so much time in the build-up to the Test series bigging up their preparation against spin. You're at home playing on a scuffed-up track. You're saying, we don't want to play a warm-up game because, we will get, unfavorable conditions, which is fair. You won't be getting real match-like conditions. But all of that talk and seeing a spinning track, or what they thought would be a really spinning track at, Nagpur, absolutely played on their head. They were playing inside their own heads and playing against themselves rather than playing the opposition and playing the ball. That is why even here, the second innings, once you had 223 runs, you knew half your job was done because they couldn't get those many runs in the first innings. So it was always going to be a case of batting out, being patient, showing mental fortitude. And I think for me, the summed up moment of this match, when you could tell just how much the Aussies had given up, was when Steve Smith, 9 wickets down, gets one by Shami, prods it forward, and they didn't have the field up for Smith. He takes the single.
He takes the single
And gives it to Scott Boland. And I'm like, what?
That's it.
That's how you know he's just given up. There's no intent whatsoever to play for a win or even try and play on as long as possible. Isn't that the essence of Test cricket?
I will tell you one thing. Australia were already deflated by the end of day 2. Why is that? Already your lead was 144. You are trailing by 144. You are in deficit. Towards the fag end, a moment happens. Steve Smith drops Ravindra Jadeja. That about summed it up. That okay, we give up. We can't come back in this game, and it showed in the batting. Usman Khwaja, you knew that Ashwin would drift the ball in and it would go away. He couldn't control his instinct for the drive, which served him well in the UAE and in Pakistan. But unfortunately, it proved to his undoing here.
Absolutely.
But one has to. I cannot understand the troubles of David Warner in India. I simply cannot understand to fathom. In the IPL, he's a legend. 5,006, he's nearing 6,000 IPL runs. Played in all kinds of adverse conditions as an opener. Yet in international cricket, especially in test match cricket, he cannot find that mojo in India.
Absolutely. He's just not been able to turn it on the way he would want to have in India. Other places in the subcontinent, he still had, moments of brilliance, flashes here or there.
Marnus Labuschagne, well, unfortunately got undone by 2 beauties from Ravindra Jadeja.
In both innings.
Steve Smith, I think 37 and 25. Well, he looked the better of the batters. Renshaw, woefully out of touch. Hanscom, well, showed application in the first innings, but
second innings, no.
I think he was undone by a very good ball.
Also, with Renshaw, now the decision, and we were talking about it a lot, the decision to drop Alex Carey,
Travis Head,
and bring in Matt Renshaw just looks worse and worse by the minute.
And why did they want to bring Matt Renshaw in? Hello, it was for bowling options.
But when you Travis Head bowl?
Of course he bowls. And didn't you already have Todd Murphy and Nathan Lyon as 2 left-arm spinners, as 2 off-spinners?
Correct.
Then that means either you bungled by not taking Ashton Agar.
Yeah.
But I doubt whether Agar would have had that kind of rip that Jadeja and Aksar had. That is another thing altogether. But as I had mentioned, 2017 the success was there was someone to back Nathan Lyon.
Here, like Steve O'Keefe.
There is nobody. Absolutely nobody. In fact, it was Murphy who got those 7 wickets.
In fact, it was Murphy who was being the aggressor.
And let me tell you, from now on, he will be closely monitored and he will be found out. Okay. That is the unfortunate problem with technology. And Australia's spinners, after Nathan Lyon, it's a bare tech.
Exactly.
You don't know when is your next spinner coming from. Although in the BBL, there are some players, but the likes of Hatsoglu and all, well, it's a barren cupboard indeed. And
that's why I think they're a little glad that someone like Murphy stepped up. They have a Swepson waiting in the wings.
Yes.
But beyond that, again, it's just not a lot of talent there. Yep. And what happens, the eternal question for Australia's bowling lineup always is what happens when Lyon struggles? You saw it?
Well, you actually lost in the second innings, you should look at, you lost by 29 runs to Rohit Sharma alone. 120.
And we've been joined by Rahul from Nagpur. Yes. Rahul, can you hear us loud and clear?
Yes, very clear. Please go ahead.
Rahul, could you have believed that Australia would capitulate so tamely?
It was, if you would have asked me this 3 days ago, I wouldn't have said yes, definitely. But one session, by the way,
Yes.
Just one session. They came out to bat post-lunch and they folded up just 5 minutes after the scheduled tea break.
Yes.
When it was supposed to be taken. Now, that's what has happened. And 91 runs. Where did Australia lose? Now I was just wondering, did they lose while batting first? Did they lose because they didn't get the Indians out cheaply as in for anything somewhere around 250 because India managed to score somewhere around 400 and then 91 all out. So all 3 days, not even a single session perhaps, was dominated completely by the Australians. I think they lost this test match even before they stepped onto the field on day one. They had lost this match in the dressing room itself. Their batsmen, every time they would walk out, it seemed that they were mentally struggling. They thought that they were demons on the wicket. They thought that they do not have the ability to counter the likes of Ravindra Jadeja, Ravichandran Ashwin, or even Akshar Patel with the ball. So that's where the story lies. I think the quality of Indian spinners, especially on wickets like these, where they exploited the conditions so very well, and Australians, they were just way too below par.
And yet again, if you have to look at it, 91 all out with one session, in just one session. As you had said, Australia lost it in the pitch itself in the build up to the test. Now, could you also say that they picked the wrong team totally for this particular match?
Well, in hindsight, yes, definitely. But see, I would have still gone with the with a Travis Head, maybe somebody who's in form, and two off spinners, two similar off spinners. Yeah, later on, Todd Murphy did say that although Nathan Lyon was relying too much on his top spin, but he was relying on side spin. So that ways they were different. But two off spinners against the Indians, and then dropping those easy chances. And that too by Steve Smith. Scott Boland dropped one. So that tells you the story that physically and mentally they were not there. Physically they were tired, and good on the part of the Indian batters yesterday on day two, when they kept the Australians on the field throughout the day, because it's not easy out there because it's hot. The sun is beating down on the pitch pretty hard, and to just wait and wait. Australians, at least I thought that they were waiting for things to happen.
Yeah.
They were not making things happen here.
Speaking of people who made things happen, our Ashwin and his propensity for dismissing left-handers, spinning track, it was absolute joy to watch. I think obviously we knew that he could do that, but how nice was it actually seeing him just run through that Aussie batting lineup? They didn't really have much of a clue how to face him on this track.
And in conditions like these, you give him one wicket, he will just run through the batting order. That is how Ashwin is. Ravindra Jadeja, when there's a situation like these, somebody like Ravindra Jadeja, he doesn't allow you to think. He's somebody who will finish his over in 90 seconds. He bowls one, comes back, bowls another delivery, comes back, bowls another ball. So the batsman literally doesn't have time to think. And he's under pressure. Even the batsman is under pressure to get ready as quickly as possible, because he would be roaming around and he would see that Jadeja is waiting for him to stand on the crease so that he can just bowl the next delivery. And if you see, it does affect the psyche of a batter. I was reading somewhere, in fact, I'm forgetting who wrote this in his book, in his autobiography, but this is how it happens. And for Ashwin, the wicket was, but it's strange that how the Indians, even the likes of Mohammad Shami and Mohammad Siraj, India's number 10 and number 11, they looked quite comfortable, to be very honest. The way, Mohammad Siraj hit those back foot punches also. In fact, playing those spinners, off spinners, bowling from over the wicket, allowing the ball to turn and then just rock back onto his back foot and just placing the ball to sweep a cover. He seemed at complete ease, but that was something that was missing when the Australians came out to bat here. But you have to give credit to the Indians. See, I understand these are home conditions. You have the home advantage, but it was not a wicket where you would get bowled out for 177 in the first innings and then 91 in the second innings. So that is where the Australians lost the plot. The moment you get out for 177 after batting first, where the toss was important, where batting first was important, where the first innings lead was important. And unfortunately, the first two things Australia did right. But then the more important thing, that was to take the lead. That is where the Indians got the better of them.
Rahul, I just wanted to bring upon this Australian aspect. I mean, the top order. David Warner, an IPL legend who has scored plenty of runs in India when it comes to the IPL. But when it comes to test matches, he just seems to struggle against India. What do you think? Is David Warner shot mentally? Because there was some controversy heading into the India series that was built up that he was not going to be considered for captaincy ever again. Then again, he's been wanting to say, I can't play all three formats, I can't be away from home. Is David Warner shot mentally, Rahul?
I'm surprised. It's not just what has happened in these two innings. For somebody of his stature, the way David Warner has led his career throughout, he's got runs almost everywhere. But India is somewhere that he struggled. And honestly, I thought that this tour, at least this perhaps will be David Warner's last test tour of India, unless I'm proven wrong maybe some years ago, some years later. So I thought that he would do better. Last tour also he wasn't too great against the Indians, and he's struggling. And somebody of his caliber, because he is a veteran, he is so experienced. David Warner, the likes of David Warner, Steve Smith, they have to be the flag bearers. If you have to, if you have to beat India in India. It doesn't happen too often. Even for the Australians, it's been 19 years.
Yes.
2008 they won, no?
They won the series in 2004, yes.
2004, sorry?
Yeah, 4-4.
Yeah, they won the test series in 2004, yes.
Yeah, so it's been 19 years now. So you don't win in India so often. And for that to happen, you would want your senior pros to come good.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I think with Warner, there's always been a worry that if he gets caught up in a pattern, sometimes that pattern, it takes him a really long time to break out of it. You've seen it happen with, say, Stuart Broad.
Yeah.
When he was playing in England.
Archer.
Broad made him his bunny. Archer made him his bunny. Ashwin, at this point, I think, with the way they're bowling, again, with Ashwin's record against left-handers, I think Warner could be in for another long tour of India this time.
See, Ashwin has dismissed Warner 11 times already in tests. So,
And Siddharth, now that the possibility of staging this third test match in Dharamshala are very bleak. I'm expecting maybe it could be shifted to Bangalore. It has to be some big center because the entourage is huge. So Warner, I think more often than not, if Australia stick to Usman Khwaja as their opener throughout this tour, irrespective of his performances, I think every time in the second innings of the Australians, Ashwin is going to start with the new ball from the other end, because they have two left-handers. So David Warner and Usman Khwaja will have to pull up their socks and will have to get those mental demons out. Otherwise, they will not be able to survive against somebody like Ravichandran Ashwin, who is so good against the left-handers. He's so precise with his lines and lengths, and because he's tall also, gets that drift, allows the ball to grip, which turns, and that is where he's able to outfox the batsman. So David Warner and Usman Khwaja are in for a difficult time unless they get their act together, or they'll have to do a lot better than what they did here in the first test.
Exactly. So now, Rahul, at the venue, can you give us a perspective of? See, Ashwin is a demon against left-handers. Dismissed all the left-handers in the Australian team today for his 5-wicket haul. Now, seeing from the press box and seeing from all the vantage points, why do you think Ravichandran Ashwin is such a difficult position?
There's a breaking news.
What is
Jadeja has been found guilty of breaching the ICC code of conduct. The incident occurred during when he applied that soothing cream.
Oh yes. Okay,
so he has. So you'll have to excuse me. So you can just go ahead with this report, and I'll come back to you.
Okay, sure. That is
that's massive.
big. That is big. Yes, Jadeja has been found guilty. Like, it wasn't surprising.
Not that surprising.
Why?
Right?
Because he should have informed
the umpire,
and under Article 41.3.2 of the playing conditions, you had to inform the umpire.
Correct.
Now, if the umpire has deemed him guilty because he didn't inform him, then yes, that is a breach.
Correct.
That is a violation. So, he's not been charged with ball tampering.
Obviously,
as such.
but yeah, he should have actually kept the umpire on the loop.
He should have kept.
That is the major point of contention in this case.
Like, that is huge. That is huge. Yes. And okay, this is the ICC release that's been there. India's ace all-rounder Ravindra Jadeja has been fined 25% of his match fee for breaching level 1 of the ICC code of conduct. Okay, so Ravindra Jadeja was found to have breached Article 2.2 of the ICC code of conduct, which relates to disciplinary conduct that's contrary to the spirit of the game. 1 demerit point has been given, and that is his first offence in this 24-month period. Okay, so this happened in the 46th over of Australia's first innings, when Jadeja was seen applying a soothing cream, okay, for his fingers. So the Indian team manager explained that the finger spinning was applying the cream to a swelling. But this was done without asking the permission from the on-field umpires.
Correct. That was what we had said even beforehand. We said that he's not really indulging in any tampering. But the umpire should have been made aware, because it's not just about an ethical thing or a moral thing.
Yes.
It's actually within the playing
rules. And remember, the ICC could have done an independent investigation even without a complaint.
Correct.
So, under the MCC playing condition of 41.3.2, Jadeja has been found guilty because the umpires can check and whether if the offence has been committed, that's it. You can be sanctioned. But since he didn't tamper with the ball, that's why he's getting 1 demerit point. It's a level 1 offence.
Correct.
If it was a level 2 or a level 3 offence, that was much more serious in this. So, nothing much to worry about. I mean, he just gets 1 demerit point, and if you accumulate enough demerit points in a 2-year period, then you are banned for a game or 2. So, the latest update is Jadeja has been handed 1 demerit point. Because he applied the cream, he just did not inform the umpires. And under 41.3.2 of the MCC playing conditions, that's how it is. And under Article 2.20 of the playing conditions. So, if I can just open that point, okay. Yeah, Article 2.2.0, I think I'll have to do a separate explainer for that. I will come for that later. But yes, we just have to now get back to the game. And Roy SP is like saying Warner's case is weird in tests. Agreed. I asked Rahul also, yes, it is weird. I mean, what is it with David Warner that he just cannot perform?
Correct.
Actually, Hanscom came in for head and Renshaw was in SA test too. But remember, in that SA test also, Roy SP, Renshaw got COVID and he was on the sidelines, but he did bat. Renshaw should have been out for head. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
No questions asked at this point.
And I think
I'm pretty sure Rohit got the man
of the match. Okay. That's
interesting.
So, what is Patty Cummins? What did Patty Cummins say about this?
Let's just check on the screen.
Yeah. Pat Cummins said, the game moves pretty quickly here at times in India. They played very well. The spinners are always going to be hard work when it's spinning. Rohit played very well. The wicket spun but wasn't unplayable.
And as he says, we should have scored 100 more runs.
Yes, starting here is tough, but 3 out of 4 guys got in. When you do get in, got to score big runs.
Absolutely.
Murphy was fantastic.
That was the problem. Is that even when they did get starts in the first innings, you had Labuschagne get a start, Smith did really well. None of them converted into a big score. The difference with the Indians was you had 1 ton from Rohit, and you had 2 half centuries from the likes of Jadeja
And Aksar.
That was what elevated their innings.
Exactly. So, if we may say 120 plus 84 plus 70, you look at it, 274 runs came from 3 batters. That is the difference. And for Australia, take away Labuschagne and Smith's contribution, Carey's contribution, 49 plus 37, 86 plus 126. 86 plus 36 is 122. 55 runs from the remainder of the batsmen.
Correct, and that's just not acceptable.
That is the difference. And Ashwin has also.
Yeah, I think you can. You're talking about things you can focus on. Ashwin would be an interesting one. He had spoken to the broadcasters right after the match.
After this, yes. If you keep flying and want to make plans in the air, sometimes it can go amiss. It's a clear take at Australia's preparation, because I've experimented a lot, but to stay at the moment is very important. If you keep flying, if you keep flying and want to make plans in the air, sometimes it can go amiss. Oh man.
And that's what happened actually with them. The Aussies, I think they came into this test match, then the picture of them, inspecting the Nagpur pitch went viral. There's a lot of talk from the media about it being a doctored pitch, one that would be spinning like crazy from day one. And I mean, as Cummins himself admits, that yes, there was spin on the first innings itself, but it's not an unplayable wicket by any means.
Yes.
Now, it's a big thing when even the captain was making that admission, saying, look, it wasn't an unplayable wicket. We needed at least 100 more runs.
Absolutely. Spot on. I mean, frank admission from Pat Cummins. So that is why. And Rohit Sharma is now speaking. And
he said that, he's saying it's unfortunate that I've missed a few tests. He's played just 2. He got COVID. Then missed South Africa.
Bangladesh.
Injury. It was an unfortunate one. So I think it's good for him, because I think the one format where his form hadn't really taken a beating was Test.
Absolutely.
He was playing Test cricket very, very well. And yes, there was a decline obviously in ODIs and T20Is. T20Is, I would say in particular, last year. But I think we all knew that in Tests there wouldn't be that many question marks, and it's good for him that he's proven that, right?
Yes. So there will be plenty to talk about in this Nagpur test match, because see, we will be analysing Rohit's comments, we'll be analysing Jadeja, what is the playing condition that he has fallen foul to. Then we will also be analysing what went wrong for Australia. Why is Ravichandran Ashwin such a big demon against left-handers? I mean, he is the ultimate left-hander's nightmare. Cook, Stokes, Warner, all the Sangakkara, everybody he has troubled. So it is simply magnificent that Ravichandran Ashwin continues to be such a valuable asset for. And remember, by the end of the series, he would have overtaken Nathan Lyon and probably coming close to 500 if you have to look at it, because they play 3 more tests. Who knows whether Ravichandran Ashwin would not play, but he would not take more than 5 to 6 wickets in every test. That could happen. So I've grown up playing a lot in Mumbai on surfaces that turns a lot. That's a very important point that Rohit Sharma has said. Then that different could be whatever suits you. You need to be different. Using your feet, sweeping, reverse sweeping. It was the first 2 overs from Seamers. Starting a game like that, you are in the ascendancy.
Actually, that's key also, because a lot of the talk came about spinners this, spinners that. But within 3 overs, India had removed both openers in the first innings. And that had everything to do with your seamers, not your spinners.
Absolutely. So I think Rohit is not the man of the match. I think
you're right.
It could be.
It could very well be Mr. Jadeja, Sir Jadeja.
Yes, and Sir Jadeja talking to
Sanjay Manjrekar.
Yes.
Oh, the irony. Yes, it is indeed Jadeja.
Player of the match is Ravindra Jadeja. Much deserved.
Much deserved. I mean, he got 7 wickets.
He got 7 wickets. He got
half century.
Yes.
I think definitely.
He set the game up brilliantly.
Oh yeah, with both bat and ball.
Yes, because 5 wickets he got out of Labuschagne and Smith, Australia's best players. Then he shared a partnership with Rohit Sharma, and then partnership with the tail.
With Aksar. Don't forget.
And also 2 wickets here as well. So, brilliant comeback from Ravindra Jadeja.
Could have had 3.
Yeah, had he not overstepped. But brilliant comeback from Ravindra Jadeja, because
yeah, absolutely. I think
4 months he was away from the game.
5 months away from the game. You're coming back, at international level, having put in some work in the NCA. And I remember him mentioning, I had done a video on that as well, when he was talking to the host broadcasters after the first day. He said that on a daily basis, I was bowling like 10 to 12 hours in the NCA, not 10 to 12 overs, 10 to 12 hours
Wow.
of just relentless bowling. And then he's saying that kind of got me back in my body back into rhythm. Then I wanted match fitness, so the Ranji Trophy, mate. And he's saying that really prepared me for the rigors of international cricket once again.
41 overs, he took 8 wickets, including
wickets.
7 in the second innings against Tamil Nadu. That, if you want to say, and he's indeed said it, was working hard at the NCA. Would like to thank the NCA staff.
Yeah, and he mentioned that kind also just afterwards that, you know, like on Sundays is normally an off day for the NCA, but a lot of the staff were coming in to actually work with him even on the off days. So they've really put in a lot of effort to get him back into full match fitness. And you're reaping the rewards, you know?
They take inspiration from Sports Today as well, because we work even on Sundays, Saturdays, you name it, we work it at that time. So, but ball was spinning, going straight, keeping low, kept telling myself to bowl at the stumps.
I think that's always been Jadeja's mantra, stump to stump bowling. Keep it simple, let the pitch do the rest.
Exactly. And see, Jadeja's main thing is accuracy. And that is the main reason why, and no sparks have flown in this interaction.
Oh, to be fair, if you have to remember that even first they buried the hatchet. A. B. Jadeja, Manjrekar made it very clear that his comments of the bits and pieces player was only for a white ball cricket, not test cricket. He said in test cricket there's plenty of value to keep him around. In white ball he did say though that a bit of a bits and pieces player. These are his words, by the way. Not
boy, won by an innings and 132 runs. And remember, 91. Remember in 2004, Australia got bowled out for 93 in Mumbai. That was the match they lost by 14 runs.
Correct.
And that was the start of India's domination against Australia in India.
Correct.
That was the starting point. And now, 19 years later, it's come a full circle. And with the next test in Delhi on a pretty similar wicket.
Hey, Delhi, you're not going to be getting anything different. And trust me, I can tell you this, we're all based in Delhi NCR. It's getting warmer here.
It's getting warmer.
So and I think by the time 17th, right? That's 17th. 6 days from now. 6 days is going to get a little bit warmer. You're going to be seeing some very testing conditions in Delhi, my friends. Trust me. Turning track, and with the kind of heat that you get in Delhi, even though it's still February heat, it's not going to be easy.
And potentially Australia's one chance to make a comeback in Dharamshala, that also might be in doubt.
Correct, because Dharamshala, this seems unlikely we're going to be hosting the test match over there, which is a bit of a shame. But if it's not going to be ready, then they're not going to be hosting it over there. And if that happens in another big city, you best know they're going to be preparing a nice spinning track there too.
Nice spinning track. And remember, the World Test Championship conundrum, if Australia lose,
whitewashed
4-0.
And Sri Lanka somehow
win 2-0.
Whitewash New Zealand in New Zealand.
Australia are out.
Exactly.
Okay, so Samir Singh, let's take some comments now.
Yeah, let's check it. I'm sure we have a lot of
Roy SP, yes, we had already answered the thing about David.
Samir Singh says that Australia will now send their experts in India to conduct detailed analysis of the pitch. He'll also analyze Jadeja and Ashwin's hand. Yes, they should actually just see how it is that they were getting the ball to rev.
Absolutely. I mean, see, Australia, they wasted the best batting condition. And as Cummins admitted, 100 more runs, the collateral damage would have been less.
Yeah, I mean, you may still have lost. But at least, you know, you saying 270, 280 on a spinning track in India first innings, perfectly acceptable.
But still, if Australia lost for 91, they were still lost by innings and 29 runs.
No, but true. See, again, if you have 270 on the pitch, India are batting a little differently. Because the pitch wasn't that easy. One of the reasons India eased in was because they realized that spinners weren't doing that much. And that they had figured out very easily how to bat. Anyway, exit that. We'll take some more comments. I see
so Arpan Datta is like saying, just exit that.
Exit the super chat.
Okay. Arpan Datta is saying, so next match will Green and Head come in for Renshaw and Boland. And for India, Shreyas Iyer in for Suryakumar. What's the present situation of Bumrah? Can he play?
Bumrah seems unlikely at this point.
And yes, Head should come in place of Renshaw. So that means you've got Hanscom there and you've got all the other players who can bat sensibly.
Also, Arpan, it could be more changes than that, you know, because again, I think Australia, one of the other things which we haven't talked about enough, their team composition was off. It wasn't. They had 4 major bowling options, whereas India went with like what, 6?
6.
So
okay, David Warner, Usman Khwaja, Marnus Labuschagne, Steve Smith, 4 Carstenstone, 5 Hanscom, 6 Head, 7 Carey, 8 Green, 9 Murphy, 10 Lyon, 11 Cummins.
That's
They
the thing.
still haven't.
I think that's what I'm saying. I think you'd have to bite the bullet and you'll have to bring in Green for one of your underperforming batsmen. So maybe Renshaw.
Renshaw head.
Yeah, okay, fair. But then head.
Then you will have to drop Hanscom to get in your bowling then.
You would have to then.
Then
Because
Agar.
Then get an Agar because you need another spinner, boss.
Yes.
It's not working. Here also you saw two spinners exactly the same in many ways. Both right arm off spinners. Yes, one is a top spinner, one's a side spinner. Potato.
Yep.
Didn't really trouble them that much.
Didn't really trouble. And this is who's this?
Oh, that's Steve Smith.
Steve Smith, smudge talking. Yep.
Also, a few more comments.
Harsh Khatri is like
Harsh is saying, good win, no demons on the pitch. Oz media rattled. Yes. How is Nikhil? Since he can't speak for himself, I'll say that he's lost his voice.
He's lost his voice. Yes.
Yeah, he'll be back with us soon.
And Harsh, no demons on the pitch. Absolutely, it was a typical Indian wicket with absolutely no demons at all. Oz media rattled. Absolutely, Oz media were totally rattled, and that's how they work. That is how it is. They see anything outside of a flat deck, they get rattled. Because even in England, if you say green wicket, then
yeah, you remember
60 Trent Bridge.
Exactly. In fact, as Davis Cricket points out, though, let's not write Australia off. Always difficult for a tournament team in the first test. Remember 36. Correct, good, valid point.
But Davis Cricket, when it's the case, it's a different case with Australia. When they go down badly, they go down badly for a long period.
And okay, we're not
of
writing
time.
them off, but they will have to make a bunch of changes both to personnel and their approach if they are to have any chance of even, let's say, avoiding a whitewash, never mind winning the series.
Exactly. And
So
remember,
it's going to be tough.
36 in Adelaide against India. At that time, India had a change of personnel and the approach changed.
Exactly, because the change of personnel was not down entirely to their choice.
Not entirely to their choice. So that's why, okay, we won't write Australia down. Maybe they may want to at least draw or win a test. Because for Australia, it's simple. If they draw a test or win a test, they are through to the World Test Championship. Only one test.
Exactly, they would just need one draw.
But where will that come?
Exactly, their best option of a draw realistically was Dharamshala, and well, now Dharamshala seems
Maybe Delhi, because when they played in 2008, they drew that test match because it was an absolute, well, you may say,
we took that already.
yeah, it's an absolute dust bowl. It wasn't a dust bowl, it was an absolute road in Delhi. I mean, you say, rare time a road was there.
GGK is asking that will this be a retirement series from Warner and Pujara, and will KL be dropped? GGK too early to tell. Warner, yeah,
Yes.
maybe. Pujara too, I don't think obviously is getting up there. in
Okay,
age,
maybe-
but I don't see him being dropped.
Maybe
in
if
that.
Warner struggles in the Ashes, I think that's game over for Warner in tests.
I agree. And drop KL, I mean, look, we don't know. Again, I think he'll get at least another test or two because
Yeah.
again, you only from bad one in
For
India. So
Pujara. Pujara.
maybe, who knows? But who comes in?
But maybe if he doesn't have a good 4 tests now, because the World Test Championship final also I'm including, they don't play a test until December. Very difficult. I would say 50-50 for Cheteshwar Pujara.
In fact, Aditya Kavlekar is talking about that only. So why can't we have the WTC finals for the subcontinent? Interesting question. I would like to see that certainly. So far, you've had what? One WTC, which was 2021.
I would say keep it in neutral venues. I like the concept of neutral venues.
No, neutral venues is
Keep
fair.
it maybe in the UAE. UAE, where there is no distinct advantage.
But then those will be road pitches in some way.
But again, Australia and India both kind of struggle in England seeming conditions. India less so, Australia more so. Remember, I had said this, India less so. Please don't take anything and how can you say India struggled in England in seeming conditions?
They have.
No, if you look at it in the last couple of matches, they've actually done well. 2021, they have done well. So that is why. I would like this concept of neutral pitches, honestly. So that is why let it be held elsewhere. For timing wise and for the viewership, this thing, England is the best. Unfortunately, maybe South Africa could be the next.
Yeah.
You could hold it in South Africa.
You could, absolutely.
You could. Not in Asia. I don't want it in the subcontinent, man. It
I would like to
favors.
see it. I would like to see it in subcontinent. Okay, say for instance you have two non-subcontinent teams playing. Imagine them in a final. That would be fun.
Okay, then make this provision when there are Sena versus Asia. Hold it in England or in the Sena, this thing somewhere. If it's non-Sena, suppose if there is 2 Asian countries, keep it in the Sena countries.
Oh, I think, see,
If it's 2 Sena countries, keep it in Asia.
Well, pre-deciding also isn't the worst option because at least it gives the team like a home team and added motivation. See, like for instance, when India and New Zealand played the first one, you knew that New Zealand had some advantage because English conditions aren't that different to New Zealand conditions either.
And
the
New
only major
Zealand
difference being that New Zealand grounds are smaller.
and New Zealand have never lost to India in any format in England.
Correct. So in that sense, okay, fair enough. But I would like to see that. Aditya. I'd love to see some WTC
Yeah.
finals in the subcontinent. India, absolutely yes.
Yes. But
Very
again,
well
India, if it's non-Asia, if two non-Asian teams are there, if they don't come to the final, then you have to hold it in Asia.
Shreyans Puddipeddi, I already discussed the conditions in Delhi.
Yep.
Conditions won't be that different. In fact, considering how warm it is getting already in Delhi, let me assure you this jacket is mostly for the ACs in our studios.
Yes.
It's getting warmer. I don't think it's going to be all that different. In fact, Delhi for years has always been seen as a dust bowl track.
Dust bowl track.
So,
Yep.
I mean, you don't even have to try to make it spinner friendly.
Exactly.
Let's be frank. So I don't think it's going to be that different. In fact, it may be slightly worse. Trust me, maybe slightly worse.
So should we call it?
No, there's a few more comments we can still take. Just Shivam, go down.
Yeah,
first,
because
go
we
down.
have a lot of other post-match.
Oh, we
things
do.
to
There's plenty of work to do. In fact, as Harsh Khatri says, Green will give them balance. Stark will make them stronger. But if pitches stay this way, 4-0 easy, and they'll win the WT. Seeing ICC's records, then they being Australia, I mean, you guess. Yes, and Akshay Khiste, yes, Nikhil has not been feeling well.
And
certain
one of-
commenters whose name I cannot take
Yeah.
says that please drop KL Rahul. Not yet the time.
Not
for it.
happening. He just got one innings. Maybe if he fails in Delhi, then we may have a
I'll just go down one more time. If there's nothing new, we can wind.
yeah. Because but India's record in ICC events, I don't think so. I mean, if IND was 4-0 SL, NZ 2-0 SL, and IND final in WS,
That's actually a possibility.
that will. Where can the third test be held, Arpanda, if not in Dharamshala? There are options: Bangalore, they say Rajkot, Vizag, Pune, Mohali. Those are the options. So that is why Neelakant, did you see Venkatesh
I
Prasad
was actually
tweet?
checking
I
that.
did.
What did he say?
I think he said that it is too early to criticize. I think he said you have to drop KL Rahul. He has not.
To be fair, he's been a vocal critic of.
Yeah, he has been. I think he said he's not lived up to his potential. That's
And
what he
Arpan,
said.
the third test, where can it be held?
I said that.
Oh, yeah, you did.
I did.
Alright, so I think we're good as far as comments are concerned. We can.
Yes, we can, and
Wind
because
up, there's
but
a
remember
lot-
there'll be lots and lots of
There's
stories.
lots of reactions from the fact that India have won the test match. So stay tuned to Sports Today.
So Shane will be doing an explainer on Rohit Sharma's comments.
yeah, we'll be talking about the comments. A lot of comments.
I
which
will
are
be
being made.
doing on Ashwin, like
Yeah.
as to not comments, why he's a demon against left arm.
You can take us comments there as well.
Also,
Yeah.
yes, and I will also be doing on Australia's heaviest losses in India.
Then I'll also be talking about what Jadeja said because that's also pretty interesting in some ways.
So we've got one super chat from
Which we'll
the
take.
United
Yeah.
Kingdom.
Yeah, Grenville Dorego. Hello, Grenville. He also says that, with so many cameras, Jadeja should have informed the umpire first, called the physio, and applied the ointment. That was all he needed to do. Well said.
Well
In the
said.
words of MS Dhoni,
Nothing more to add. Yes, he should have informed. That was the basic thing under the playing conditions, which has been spared. Whatever you do, Michael Clark said it in The Guardian. If he had just tossed the ball, applied the ointment in front of the umpire, nothing would have happened.
exactly.
But unfortunately, this has happened.
And that's why the cases happen. Any which way, we'll take your leave for now.
Yeah.
But as we
so
said,
Jadeja, this is the thing he said on KL Rahul, Venkatesh Prasad. I have a lot of regard for KL Rahul's talent and ability, but sadly his performances have been well below par. A test average of 34 after 46 tests and more than 8 years in international cricket is ordinary.
hey,
Can't think of many who have been given so many chances, especially the thread continues when there are so many waiting in the wings and in top form. Shubman Gill is in sublime form. Sarfaraz has been scoring tons, and many who deserve a chance ahead of Rahul. Okay, some are just lucky to be given chances endlessly till they succeed, while some others aren't allowed to. And to make matters worse, Rahul is the designated vice captain. Ashwin is a great cricketing brain, should be the vice captain at test format. Agree? If not him, should be Pujara or Jadeja. Mayank Agarwal has had a better impact than Rahul in test, so did Vihari. Rahul's selection was not based on performance but favoritism. Oh boy.
wow, greasing a lot.
Has been consistently inconsistent for someone who has been around for 8 years, not converted potential into performances. One of the reasons why many ex-cricketers are unvocal despite seeing such favoritism is the chances of losing out on IPL gigs. Eeks. I think I will not say anything more after
Yeah,
this.
he's been very
Very vocal.
Dressed down. Get your
Yes.
point. On that note, we'll take your leave, but stay tuned to the channel. Lots more still to come. India have sealed the victory, but we'll be coming to you with more stuff, delving deeper into how this match played out, and don't forget to join us in the evening for the dugout as well. That'll be happening too. So stay tuned. For now, though, from Siddharth, me, Shane,
And Rahul
from Nagpur. Goodbye for now. Take care. Like, share, subscribe, tap the bell, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and download the SportsTech app too. Take care.
Bye bye, vanakkam.